Hello, the subject of this video is to go over examples of factoring quadratics that have a coefficient in front of the x squared other than 1. So start off with this one. Doing the AC method, I would multiply 4 times negative 2, and this would become x squared minus 7x minus 8. Then I'd ask myself what factors multiply to give me a negative 8, but add to give me a negative 7. Well, since the C value here is negative, I know I'm going to be having opposites, one positive and one negative, for my factors. And since the middle number is negative, the larger of those two factors needs to be negative. Now, 7 is pretty close to 8 in value, so it's probably going to be 1 and 8 of the factors. If I have a negative 8 and a positive 1 plus negative 8 gives me negative 7, and 1 times negative 8 gives me negative 8. So now I've successfully factored this trinomial, but that's not the original. To go back to the original, I need to substitute the ax. It was 4, so it's going to become 4x plus 1 and 4x minus 8. Then I'm going to factor out any common factors from here and here. No common factor in here, but this one's got a common factor of 4. So I have a 4x plus 1. I'm going to factor out a 4 from here. Dividing these both by 4, I get x minus 2. Since this is equal to my original a there, I can drop this out, and my final factorization here is going to be 4x plus 1 and x minus 2. Foil that, or distribute it, you get 4x times x gives you 4x squared. 4x times negative 2 gives you negative 8x. 1 times x gives you x. And 1 times negative 2 gives you a negative 2. Correct outer terms, the inside, negative 8 plus 1 gives me the negative 7x. So we have got the correct factoring. Another example. Remember, you should always check to see if there is a common factor between all three terms before doing the factoring. In the last one, I didn't do that. Is there a common factor of 3 here? Because 3 goes into 9. 3 does not go into 62 evenly. 1 and 9 does not go into 62 or 48, so there is no common factor between all three. So I am going to do the AC method, 9 times 48, and I'll get out my calculator for that one, times, I get 432. So this becomes b squared plus 62b plus 432. Now that's a pretty big number, 430. It's a pretty big number to be looking for factors on, but this is also a pretty big number here. So we should start with some fairly high numbers, and probably going to be something along with the 9 and 48 there. I know 9 and there's a factor 3 in here. Let's say 27 and 16. So I'm going to try 27 and 16. If I do 27 plus 16, do I get to 62? No. Still short, so it's got to be a larger number than 27 in there. Let's see. Let's try, well, just 30. I'm thinking if I go into here 6 times, that'll give me a 6 goes into 43 7 times with 1 left over. That'll give me a 72. But 6 plus 72 is not going to work there. So let's try a higher number. Let's try 9. 9 goes into 43 4 times with 7 left over. 9 goes into 48. 9 plus 48 does not give me 62. It's a little too low. So we've got to try something higher than that. Let's try 8. 8 goes into 43. Was it not 6 times? We have to go in 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. We have 3 left over. So we get a 54. Does 8 and 54 add up to 62? Yes. So there is some guesswork here trying to find out the factors. I just figured out that I've got a positive 8 and a positive 54. Now I have to replace the b with the ax, which would be the 9, bring the 9 back in here. I would get 9b plus 8 and 9b plus 54. Well, there's no common factor between the 9 and the 8, but there is a common factor between the 9 and 54. So this stays as 9b plus 8. This becomes 9 times b plus 6. The 9 is going to drop out because it's equal to our a, so I've got 9b plus 8, and b plus 6 is my factors. Double check. 9b times b is 9b squared. 9b times 6 is 54b, plus 8b is going to give me 62b. 8 times 6 is 48. So it does double check. This is my answer on that one. Alright, again, first thing I should do, I should check to see if there is a common factor between all three. 6 only has the factors of 1, 2, 3, and 6. 6 does not go into 67, nor does 2 or 3. 2 goes into 70, but not into the other two, so that there's no common factor across all three here. So I start my AC method by writing this without the a, so a plus 67a. 6 times 70 is 420. Now, I know 6 times 7 is 42, and I'm seeing 67 here. So I'm thinking the factors here are probably going to be 60 times 7. And 60 times 7 does give me 420, and 60 plus 7 does give me 67. So I get a plus 60 and a plus 7. Bring the a back in, I get 6a plus 60 and 6a plus 7. Factor out the 6 from here. I get 6a plus 10 and 6a plus 7 over here. The 6 is going to drop out, so I'm left with just the a plus 10 and the 6a plus 7. 6 times 10 is 60. 8 times 7 is 7a. Bring those two together, you get 67a. 8 times 6a, 6a squared, the original. And 10 times 7 gives me the original of 70. Alright, this one, again, check to see if there's a common factor between all three, and there is not. So I'm going to factor out the 9. I'm going to move the 9 over by making this r squared plus 9r minus 9 times 28. 28 times 9. I get 252. Now the difference between the two factors here is only going to be a 9. How do I know there's going to be a difference? With this being negative, I know I've got to have an r plus and an r minus here. And to do that, I have to figure out something that's pretty close in factors here. Well, let's see. I got to have double digits here. Let's say, well, I know it's not 25 times 10, but maybe 24 times something. 24 goes to 25 once, now it's only going to go in half there. Let's try, let's see, some factor of 9 there. Let's try 18. Does 18 go into 252? 18 goes into 25 once with 7 left over. 18 goes into 72. 4 times? 40 plus? Yeah, 4 times, so you get 18 times 14. And if there's only a difference of 4 there, though, we need something larger. We need a difference of 9. So it's going to be something better than that. Let's see. Let's try what goes in for 9 here. 9 goes into, that's only going to be 18. That's no good. So let's try 21. 21 goes to 252. 1 time for the 25 with 4 left over. Twice for that. So that's 21 times 12. Well, if the 21 is positive and the 12 is negative, that does give us a positive 9 when you add them together, and 21 times 12 does give us a 252. So we found our factors. Now we need to bring the negative 9 back in. So we have negative 9r plus 21 and negative 9r minus 12. Common factor here, there's a common factor of 3. We take out that common factor, we end up with common factor of 3, we end up with negative 3r plus 7. Take out a common factor of negative 3 here, and we get 3. Why the negative? Well, they're both negative, so we're going to take that negative with it. 3r minus 4. 3 times negative 3 does give me negative 9, so those two are going to cancel out. I'm left with negative 3r plus 7 and 3r minus 4. 3r times negative 3r, negative 9r squared. Negative 3 times negative 4 is going to be a positive 12r and a positive 12r plus a positive 21. Oh, that should be up by, that's right. I factor out a negative 3, it's going to be a positive 4 here. So that's going to be negative 12r and positive 21, which gives me the 9r there. Another good reason to FOIL afterwards to make sure you got the right answer. And 7 times 4 does give me the 28. So this is my correct answer here. This last one here, there is a common factor, but I want to show you what happens if I don't see that common factor to begin with. For one thing, you're going to get some really large numbers. 8 times 126 is going to give me 1,008. So I'm going to start off with n squared plus 64n plus 1,008. Well, two factors that multiply to give me 1,008 and give me a 64 when adding. I know it's not going to be like 252 times 4. It's got to be something higher. Let's try, let's see, it's 12 go, 10 goes into 100 one time. It's not going to be a decimal. Let's say, you're going to end up some really hard numbers to work with here. This is one reason why you want to factor out that common factor first. Now, in this particular case, let's see, let's try 18. Let's see if 18 goes into this. 18 goes into 1008. I go 18 into 100. That's going to give me not 9, but I guess 8 times. That's a 4, 6, 8, 4. No, that's still too high. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 10 is 80. No, so it's 67, let's do 5. 5 times 8 is 40 with 1, so 5 times 1 is 9, so I get 90. Subtract that, I get 10 left over, bring down the 8. 18 goes into 108 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4, 6 times 1 is 4. You get 108. So I've got 18 and 56. When I add those two together, are they going to give me 64? No, 8 is 60, 74. Close but no cigar. So I've got to try something a little smaller. Let's try 16. Let's try 14. Let's try 14. 14 goes into 100. I'd say that goes in 7.